Do we have taglines, sir?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Oh, that was really aggressive. Sorry.
No, it was. It was good.
I scared myself.
We do have taglines. We have 2 taglines. They're identical.
So weird.
So we have 1 tagline.
Okay.
Okay? The battle for Earth begins at sea.
It's just because the aliens had bad aim.
Yeah. With a budget of $209 to $220 million. Can't quite decide on the actual budget for this one. In a worldwide gross of $303 million. With 1 arrest by tasering, 5 alien waterbug spaceships, 2 Halo Brute alien ripoffs, 1 amputee versus alien fight, 6 spinner razor balls wreaking havoc, countless explosions, countless deaths, eye-rollingly bad use of World War II veterans, and 2 hours and 11 minutes of shameless American military machismo in the face of way better foes. With an IMDb of 5.8, a Metascore of 41, and a 34% Rotten Tomatoes, it's 2012's Battleship. Let's drop some bombs?
Yeah, we're missing one killer party.
You're very pretty, pretty, pretty. My name isn't pretty, it's Barbarella.
Hitler with a tail. This is the Omen with whiskers. Nostradamus didn't see this thing coming.
Oh, hey, man!
That's only his last name. He likes to be called Superman.
It's not who you go with, honey. It's who takes you home. I'll see you at the prom.
Let's drop some lead on those motherfuckers!
Welcome to Bonds Away, the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is...
The now deceased video... No, crap.
What? Well, it probably was a video game?
No, I was going to say board game.
Yeah.
Company.
No, it's... Yeah, I know, right? Almost bankrupt video board game company.
Was bro. Jared Seifert.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your name?
Was bro.
Was bro.
Hasbro.
J-bro. And today we're going to be talking about the 2012 movie blockbuster Transformer ripoff Battleship.
Was it a blockbuster?
It
busted.
It actually made its money back and an extra $100 million, so it actually was a financial success,
Yeah.
but it was critically panned and completely lambasted by everybody who saw it.
It looked like it was majority 50-50 split, but I think that's just because people that were dumb loved it, and people that were smart were like, what?
Yeah.
Or people that know what acting were like, what?
Or anybody who's like, we're not into translating board games into
Yeah.
they're like, if this works out, we're gonna do Sorry, and then we're gonna do Monopoly.
There were plans for those two.
Yeah. And so they were gonna the Hasbro board game universe. I'm like, what is this? Why is this a thing?
It's
So,
embarrassing.
before we get the show started, usually I say this for the end, but I just want you guys to listen and pay attention to something that's very important to us. We do have an Instagram, and it's blowing up bigger and better things for people to look at. So you'll be able to see clips from this movie constantly throughout this week that it comes out. And then if you're listening to this way later down into the future, it's going to be on the feed anyway. So if you do not feel like renting Battleship, which I'm going to do my W's now and say skip it.
Yeah, it is if you love bad acting, and as one critic reviewed it as pointless, no direction Michael Bay, which is really hard to do, because that's already kind of Michael Bay films for me. Mm-hmm. Just explosions. But this was worse somehow, because it was literally all just explosions.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
If you like Michael Bay, you might like this.
Yeah.
If you like good acting, you won't like this.
So just to finish my point here, basically, there's going to be clips and things on our Insta story feed, a little behind the scenes. We try to record what we're doing in our daily lives, and sometimes we record here in the studio as well. Just all the little things that you can catch on Instagram. That is the best place to follow us. Instagram is at Bombs Away Show. And then also we have a new forum page called Bombs Away's Overnight Dropbox. And you can find that on the Bombs Away Facebook page, facebook.com/bombsawayshow, or just type in the search bar Bombs Away's Overnight Dropbox. And that's where you can get notifications for all the content that we'll be displaying, as well as notifications for new episodes. They come out every Tuesday. And you can participate in the bad movie discussion. Tell us what we forgot. Tell us your favorite part of the movie that you want us to discuss on upcoming episodes. Just talk to us. And there we go.
Nice.
All right. So, you ready to dive in?
Yeah. Dive in these alien-infested waters.
Icy and alien-infested waters.
I like to think it wasn't icy.
No,
it's
it's Hawaii. Yeah.
I don't know water temperatures, though. I'm not a waterologist.
Yeah. I'm not an aquaologist. So immediately we get like a little title card sequence saying in 2005 we decided to start, I don't know, reaching out to alien planets. I'm like, we've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Like, or trying to. Like, we put little things in different satellites and sort of things like that. And then it was like in 2006 we decided to like boost up the signal.
Yeah.
And then it says we called it the Beacon Project. And then the Beacon Project, the title, like the text just got bigger and zoomed in the screen. I was like, I thought this movie was called Battleship. And
I got irritated because it was like there's like the music going on, and I just can't stand it because like we know things are being typed on the screen, but whenever things are being typed, whenever things are being typing,
yeah,
it wasn't like click 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 click. It was like
yeah, it's like,
and I was like, oh, God, what? Like a military message. I was like, that's not needed at all.
Nope.
But there's also pretty useless sound effects in this as well because they're out on like the open sea. And like, yes, they're near an island, so there could be birds. But there's at one point, there's no birds in the shot. But it's like you can hear ocean and you can hear like birds cawing. And it's like right after they blow up a ship. And I was like, why do we have seagulls right now? It sounds like we're in the port. I was like, this is terrible sound.
Well, a bunch of seagulls were like, oh, you know,
ooh,
this ship.
A movie.
Yeah.
Let me go see.
Well, that's what happens later on, too, is like there's actual Navy cadets or something that pulled into port as they were filming the soccer scene.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, a movie. And they were like, ooh, extras. It was like just like they both helped each other out.
What was it, over 500 or 600 extras in this?
I mean, either one sounds impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I believe 600 extras were the total for this film.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's like a massive mall shoot.
Yeah,
Like
right?
if you ever shot in a mall.
And any one of those extras could have been the stars of this film.
I thought you were going to say, could have had their wiener out. Like a throwback to Teen Wolf, the original movie. I was like, yeah, gymnasium scene.
Yay. Good callback.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's established that our transmission, which transmissions normally to me aren't represented by like beams
lasers?
of fire.
I was like, God, are we trying to blow it up with like, hello? Like, that's what I expected them to be like listening with their headphones, and then like their ears get blown out because our message just shot through their planet. That's probably why they sent battleships to us, because we blew out their
we blew
their
something
lizard
up.
eardrums.
Yeah.
Also, lizard people, is that where the lizard people came from and they slowly took over our president?
You think they're lizard people?
They're gecko people.
Because they have like the hand thing?
Yeah, well, they're more
right.
they're amphibious versions. Because that was
Do
the
you
whole
play
plot of-
Halo at all? Have you seen Halo like characters?
Okay, I played co-op of the first Halo with my friends because I'm really bad at FPS, first-person shooters.
Okay.
So, like, I can't...
Ooh, FPS.
Yeah.
Fancy.
I'm deep into video games, but, like, I can never play, like, Halo or, like,
Who's named
soccer.
video games?
I had a sex dream last night. I want you to know that.
Okay. You said deep into video games.
His name was Video Games.
Yeah,
I'm really
there
into
you go.
him.
There it is.
Full
circle.
Yeah. Full circle jerk.
Yeah.
No, my dream last night was me and 3 clones.
People are like, God, 10 minutes in,
I know.
butt sex jokes.
God, your one friend is like, yes!
Keep it up.
Yeah, I love butt stuff. She's like,
Anyway.
well, yeah, I don't know. No,
Back to
but
the movie.
You said Halo. So they're like
Yes.
they are like those alien things.
They're called brutes. They're
Yeah.
in from the second Halo on.
But don't brutes have those weird jaw things where it's like?
Okay, that is not brutes. That is elites. So the brutes are from the second one on. Basically, the brutes took over when the elites failed to do the first
Because the
James
elites were too
invasion.
dumb.
They weren't dumb. They weren't. Like, the brutes are the
Good
dumb
enough.
ones. They're brutes. They're they're the ones with, like, the giant fucking hammer, and they just, slam you, and, Where the elites had that, like, laser dagger sword or something.
Oh, yeah. That was my
Yeah.
favorite weapon because it looked cool.
Oh, yeah, it does look
I
cool.
picked weapons based on looking cool, and I only played because I could, like, pick my own armor color.
Right?
I was like, okay, let me design this. I'm going to make it look real good. All right, so the top will be green. We'll do a little backsplash of, like, dark blue.
And you just died immediately,
Yeah,
so
I
nobody
know.
got to see your design.
It was just me jumping and, like, throwing grenades. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Where's the
there's
rocket
myself.
launcher?
Yeah, basically.
That does easy kills.
I was real bad at that game.
Yeah, so these look like skinny versions of the brutes.
Okay.
Okay. And they just because they have like porcupine like chins.
Okay, I thought that
Okay.
was just their facial hair that they were like, maybe I'm going to design my facial hair today to be goatee, but their facial hair was that like porcupine texture because at one point they flick it and it's like
Right. So yeah, they
Oh, yeah.
they kind of look like this. And it's I don't know. Like you can see the porcupine chin and
yeah.
right. It's like a very pale version of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cuz the whole thing was that the guy all I can remember him is like I couldn't decide if he was albino or not.
Right.
That guy. He was like, I took my gecko to the beach one day.
I
And
don't
was like
Okay,
it's
so
one
he's
thing
from
to put
Breaking
your-
Bad.
Yeah, it's one thing to put your like cat on a leash, but it's another thing to take a gecko to a beach. Like,
Yeah, he's it's Jesse Plemons
Yeah.
is the guy you're talking about, like the kind of albino guy.
Yeah.
He's from Breaking Bad and most recently like Game Night. He was hilarious in Game Night.
oh, I need to see that.
Yeah, you do. Like it was
tried-
actually surprisingly super good.
I tried watching that in the movie Blockers, but I couldn't find any
Blockers
sources.
is surprisingly
Yeah.
better than Game
Yeah.
Night, and I'm praising both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's super funny. He was in the last like season or maybe 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. He's the other guy that is kind of attached to the like neo-Nazis by the end of Breaking Bad.
I watched the first season, but I was like, it is so like machismo and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just like this movie.
one of my favorite posts about the seasons of Breaking Bad is like straight guys want to be like, yeah, if I got cancer, I'd rule the drug world. When in reality, like that's not what the show is about. The show is about like the healthcare system and how it can corrupt anyone.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
That's it.
There's more layers than the majority
Yes.
of fans can even handle of that film.
Well, it's like the
I mean,
same
of
thing
that
with Rick
show.
and Morty. Straight
Oh,
people being
don't
like,
even.
Where's our sauce? And it's like, all right, calm down.
It's
Like
nothing to
that's-
do
yeah.
with the Szechuan sauce. It was one small joke
Yeah.
in one episode. Like, oh God, I hate you all.
Well, it's like there's another. I can't remember what else it's from, or what else from the show that people are like, yeah, and it's
Well,
like,
Pickle Rick.
yeah, well,
Pickle
like,
Rick's one episode, and they're like, I'm Pickle
Yeah.
Rick. Ah!
But like the whole thing, like the show even calls out those kinds of fans at one
Yes.
point. But then the fans took it and were like, yeah, that's so like we're those people.
Yeah,
and the show
they're
was
calling
like,
us out, and we
Yeah.
love it. And you're
Well,
like, no, they're making fun of you.
They didn't see it as calling out though. They saw it as like, that's us. We're great. And it's like, no, they're making fun of you.
Yeah.
Because you're like that. dude bro that sits in their basement and lives with their mom.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
is he the 30-year-old that got evicted from his parents' house after they like went to court with an eviction because he would not leave?
Yeah, I heard about that.
God, I'm so glad that's not me because I thought it was going to be at one point.
So we can't do the same thing as Superman 3. We got to get back.
Sorry. Okay. So after the first, they send that message into space.
Right.
There's
And
one nerdy guy that's like, I don't think this is a good idea, and you know he's
it's
going to be
never
the
a
stick
good
in the
idea.
mud for the whole
and
movie.
he made a great example though.
He did.
Where he was like, this is like the Pilgrims coming to America to meet the Indians, and we're the Indians.
Part of me was like, we were at a time when this movie was filmed where everyone knew to say Native Americans.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's our first problem.
Yeah. But
it's not like a terribly...
But he's right.
Yeah, it's not like a terribly politically incorrect thing, but it is like, we're aware now.
Probably the best example for, I'd say, all alien movies, or the fact that we are sending transmissions out there in real life. I'm like, no, he's right.
Yeah.
Like, if they have the ability to... in the analogy, sail across the oceans to come visit the other country, they're better than us already.
Sorry, I just remembered a plot point that never unfolded.
What? Go for it.
The mind telepathy thing
Yes.
with the future.
Okay, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
okay, we'll get back to the movie. So they shoot through the planet a message of hello, and then it's like,
and then it just flashes over to
two brothers celebrating a birthday, drunk.
The Hoppers? Hoopers? What did I
Hoppers.
write?
Hoppers.
Is it Hopper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopper.
yeah.
The Hopper brothers.
Okay, so yes, the Hopper brothers. One played by Taylor Kitsch, right? Who famously was John Carter in John Carter. And then another film that also bombed that I forget what it is, but because it doesn't matter. It was something we didn't even hear of.
Did you know that because of John Carter bombing, we didn't get the third Tron?
Really?
Yeah.
It's John's fault?
Yeah, because they were like, "Ooh, we gotta pause it on these weird live action, like odd
Son of a
movies."
bitch.
And they were like,
all I want in my life is for Tron to come back where Mad T
know.
was. Wow, way local. Sorry for anybody who's never been to Disneyland.
Yeah, Alexander Skarsgård as well.
Right.
So they're
That's
brothers.
the other brother.
They're
right?
drinking in a bar. He's like, do a birthday shot. And he's like, okay.
Now, Alex Hopper. So I need to say Alex Hopper for a little bit until the inevitability happens. One brother dies in this movie.
It's
okay?
not Alex.
Right. It's not Alex. So I'll say Alex right now. And Stone is the other brother. Now, Stone is a Navy man. He's the captain of a ship. And his brother Alex is a complete, utter loser who's sleeping on his couch. I guess he just went through another breakup because he's completely depressed. And his brother is saying something about, like I
don't think it was a breakup at all. I think he's just like a deadbeat. And he's just living with his brother because he has nowhere else to go.
Well, no,
like
I know
got
that, but like I think the conversation, the reason why they're drinking tonight is that
it's because
like,
it's
it was
his
another
birthday.
Oh, that's right. God damn it.
Because he was like, "Here's your birthday shot," and the brother's like,
and he gave him a cupcake. That's right.
Like I don't even know like any examples of how his acting was, but it wasn't great. He was like, "Hey, don't go over to the bar and bother that girl," and he's like, "I'll go over to the bar and do it."
Right?
Like,
yeah, like they were like act drunk, and it was almost like I've never been drunk before.
it was so like over the top serious that it just
Mm-hmm.
seemed like he was forcing everything.
Yeah, it was like somebody trying to do their best like Roadhouse or Cocktail impression of like a guy like the hero hitting on the girl, but it was blah, it was bland,
right?
Which so is she.
Yeah,
like
so the Winter Soldier goes over to talk to.
He does look like the Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier. He goes over to talk to like knock off Charlize Theron, because that's who I thought it was the entire movie. I was like, God, they really de-aged her.
This is just knock off Michael Bay model girl.
Yeah. Well,
right?
she used to be a model.
Okay, yeah. No, because she literally looks like just a girl that Michael Bay puts as the placeholder for whoever the hero to fall in love with in whatever movie he's in, but it won't matter because she'll be gone by the next movie.
Because she'll complain about sexism, and then he'll be like, we
and
don't have to deal
and
with
Nazis.
you. Yeah. Gosh, I hate Michael Bay. He's terrible.
Yeah.
So he goes over and he tries talking to her.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, she asked the bartender, she's like, can I get a chicken burrito? Because I go to bars for chicken burritos. And he's like, kitchen's closed, and closes the microwave. And I'm like, do you not have McDonald's in Hawaii? I don't know how Hawaii
I thought about
works,
that too.
But like,
right?
do you
Because
not
you're
have
already
anywhere
asking
else?
for a microwave burrito, so you
Yeah.
sure as hell don't care about your figure.
Yeah.
So,
And then
but also, like, kitchen's closed. Like, just make the sale.
it's 5 minutes,
Right?
if that, to put a burrito in a microwave.
This is so convoluted just for this, like, what
Stupid
is supposed
plot
to be
point.
romantic, right? And the whole time I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this is not what I had in mind every single time that I opened up my Battleship game boards.
right. So what's his butt? He's like, give me 5 minutes, I'll get you a burrito.
Yeah.
Like, to try and impress her, but she's like, I don't really want one. And he's like, I got it. And,
Yeah.
like, walks across the street, tries going in a convenience store, and even like, I'm glad, because I thought the convenience lady was gonna like try and put up a fight, but she literally was like, we're closed, get over it, and gets in her car and drives off.
Right?
It wasn't even like,
She's like, burritos have a lot of carbs for nighttime.
yeah. She literally
Yeah.
was like, it's unhealthy for you, get a job.
Yeah.
And like walks off. So then it does,
Come back tomorrow, loser.
the movie takes
Not racist, by the way. That
yeah.
is her accent, like in her like broken English that they use.
The movie was like, what if we took that viral video of someone breaking into a convenience store and failing miserably, and then copied that angle shot for angle shot?
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's all they did for this scene.
And because that's
That was
on
their
the
inspiration.
yeah, that's on the making of this
Yeah.
is that they discussed that they were like, oh, let's just do that YouTube thing, and I'm just like, what are we doing? This isn't a movie anymore. This is just like,
But also,
kids are gonna love this.
How many ceiling tiles do you have to remove to get through the ceiling? Because it was like
There's a
1,
lot.
2, 3, 4, foam, insulation. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god. He's ripping up the insides, and then he straight up like lands on a glass. Okay, he lands on a bunch of glass bottles on top of the shelf.
Okay. Are you about to say that there's nothing on him in the next scene?
No.
Okay,
but
because there's
that's a good point,
nothing
too.
on his white tee.
Yeah. So you hear a bunch of police sirens after he fails to get out of the place with the burrito from climbing through the ceiling. And so I guess he goes out the front door. The police are like chasing after him. He's running to the girl. He gets shot with a taser, and he's like still walking towards her, gives her the burrito, and gets shot with a taser again. And then he's laying in a bathtub of ice.
Okay, so in any other world, taser would have hit him, and then as he still is coming, they'd have been like, well, he's going to touch that pretty hot girl, shoot him!
Yeah, right?
You know?
No, he's white.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they wouldn't shoot him.
But yeah, he kind of like is getting volts into him the whole time, and he still struggles and hands her the burrito. And of course, in the
She's
stupidest thing, I'm like, this is what's wrong with our country.
Yeah.
This is like every girl swoons over this kind of bullshit instead of like being like, what a weirdo, what a loser.
I don't think that people swoon over it. I think the media industry, that sounded stupid.
Pumps it up.
The movie industry
Yeah.
thinks that it's a thing, and it's not.
Right.
No one's going to be like, you did something
Well,
illegal.
then you explain
Yeah.
the South.
Yeah. No one can explain the South.
Right? Because I feel like this has happened in the South every night.
Yeah, but
It's like,
those
I need a
girls-
burrito!
The girls that are falling for that do not look like Sam.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I need a burrito in a 2-liter Mountain Dew.
I need a burrito!
I need a case of burritos.
Kitchen's always open here.
Give me a side of ketchup for my burritos.
Hold on, it's on my back from when I fell through the ceiling tile.
So the next scene, he's laying in the bathtub. And is he still drunk? Because he's like, oh, did it mark? Oh my God, there are marks on my back.
Yeah.
The taser left marks. And his brother's literally like, you're stupid. You're a fuck up. What is wrong with you? Can you get your shit together? That's
Right.
it. We're done. I'm
But
enlisting
also,
you in the military. 'cause I
Why
can do
doesn't
that?"
he go to jail?
That's also a great question. Maybe Hawaii is super laxed about burritos.
It's like, yeah.
And breaking and
breaking
entering.
and
And
B&Es
destruction
are
of
okay
property.
as long as you immediately go in the Navy the next morning.
Yeah. It was,
Right?
I didn't get it. And he definitely got shot by, I thought
You
he
know
got
how
shot by
many
a
people
taser
would
twice.
be in the Navy if that
Yeah.
was how it went down? Be like, sir, you're arrested for possession. Well, Gotta sign up for the Navy.
Whoops.
Basic training starts on Monday.
Time to go on a boat.
See ya, Judge.
So he's in the bathtub, or he gets out of the bathtub, and I'm like, your dick is out in front of your brother. Get it right.
Yeah.
Fix yourself. That's not okay. And then he
seems to have a strategic ice thong.
I know.
As he comes out, too. Like, the ice does not move from his pelvis.
And then, so we get a shot of his back, and there's only like 2 taser marks and like some purpling. And I'm like, you mean to tell me you fell on a bunch of glass bottles and have 0 scratch or cut marks on your back? Okay. Sure. Great.
So moving on.
Yeah. He gets enlisted, and then a lot of time passes.
Right.
But they don't tell us how much time.
No, but enough for him to be, like, very close to commanding his own ship.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of little things decorated on his chest.
Yep.
I don't know, the colors and stripes.
Yep.
I don't know how things work.
And then through the use of a lot of expositionary dialogue, Liam Neeson lets us know later on that he is one of the best cadets who does not take initiative.
He's just bad.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, but I will find you.
He's also been dating Sam long enough, which is
long
the
enough
girl.
for proposal.
Yeah, he's like, I want to talk to your dad and propose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to talk to your dad and propose to him.
Yeah.
Tell him that I want to.
He's a beautiful, beautiful Irishman.
And so, the day then goes to
Rim
Sports?
Pack.
Rim
it's called
Gods?
Rim Pack, and
Rim
I thought I was like, yeah, that's right up your alley.
Yeah. Oh, it's been up my alley.
Rim Pack.
Yeah.
And it's basically a international, I don't know, contest of naval games.
Yeah.
Right? Including soccer, which is what we're watching in this moment when RimPack is introduced, and then it'll turn into like strategic naval games and things like that. With Japan and a couple other countries that nobody cares about or seems to mention.
It's funny because they're talking about RimPack and they're like, it's all these countries getting together and like
naval
competing,
Olympics.
naval Olympics. There's even sports, and it's like soccer. Now we're on boat. Japan and America only. Yeah. Like, that is it.
Right.
They were
in
like,
Hawaii. Super awkward.
I know. There's like no other countries, no other sports. Like,
especially because this was supposed to be filmed in Australia.
Yeah.
And they didn't get like the budget or the tax cuts that they were looking for. And so they were like, Hawaii. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't it be Hawaii? Because that's like where our Navy basically is. Yeah. And also, it just makes sense, especially when we're going to harp so hard in this next scene on our World War II veterans. Like, it is so, okay. And that's what, remember what we were saying is, like, this tries so hard to be a Michael Bay movie. So, are you how familiar are you with the Transformers movie?
I have seen the first 2, maybe first 3.
Okay, enough to establish the fact that Michael Bay basically, like, gives a hand job to the military the whole movie.
Well, yeah.
Right? Because they allowed him to use whatever he wanted as long as the military was shown in a good light.
Yeah.
So that's the difference here is the military, other than like the establishing thing of the very first movie where one just kind of like infiltrates, transforms out of a helicopter and just destroys the whole base, the military is normally seen as like, we might get our asses handed to us a little bit, but we're never down and out and defeated, right? In this movie, instead of being like, oh, military's all gung-ho, they go one step further and be like, and here's World War II veterans, and here's this, and here, and you're just like, no, this is not how the vets probably want to be remembered at all, you know? So we are seeing that we are on the deck. It's a whole ceremony
of the Missouri,
the USS Missouri, the Big Mo,
Missouri,
right? And
you're putting such an O in the center.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. You love it.
I'm from there.
I know. That's why you love it. You're like, it's my favorite ship.
Missouri.
Which, those who are familiar, was a World War II battleship that is now a floating museum.
With a claw machine. Just kidding. There's no more claw machine.
Yeah. Yeah, because they busted it and threw it out the window, I guess. So, I know why. Okay, guys, sorry, we got distracted for a second because we are saying Missouri,
Oh.
And Jarrett's phone that's plugged in thinks he's saying, "Hey Siri."
No, don't say it. She'll talk again. Oh, yours just did it.
Wait. Hold on.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh. That was the most exciting thing to happen out of this movie. And it happened 6 years later.
Yeah. So, okay.
God.
Basically, Liam Neeson, who is an admiral, is giving a dedication to the World War II veterans who are still alive that served on the Missouri. And Hopper, of course,
is late.
With
and
he's
girlfriend.
wearing his shades. Yeah, his girlfriend, who is the admiral's daughter.
Burrito girl.
Girl. Yeah.
So they ended up
Sam.
dating, but Sam, unfortunately, is the admiral. And so they're talking in their car before they go in, and she's like, "You got to talk to him today." And he's like, "I know, I'm going to ask him if I can marry you." He's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get over how dumb he is. He's
Super
literally...
dumb.
But then the movie paints him to be like, he's really smart. He's read several books several times. Like, and... This is, okay, within this movie, they quote anything that is relatively, like, in the ballpark of what could be considered war.
Yeah.
Like, any sort of, like, major novel.
Right? You guys read War of the Roses?
Yeah, like, The Art of War. I understand it now.
What about War of the Worlds?
Yeah. Like, God. It's Apocalypse Now, you know, in that one line it says, and then they quote it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
God, it pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
So they're late. They show up. Of course, they get, like, it's seen that they're late. Like,
yeah, because he decides to, like, in front of an entire line of naval cadets.
oh, he doesn't just walk in front of a line. He walks in front of the entire audience.
Right. But crouches down below
Yeah.
them. But in the field of view, because he's in front of Liam Neeson,
Yeah.
the person who he's supposed to be impressing and his own admiral is, like, in front of them. Why wouldn't you go behind
I
the
know.
entire rows and rows of
Sneak
standing
up, you
cadets?
dummy.
Right? And then he's also there, and he forgot to take off his glasses, and everybody's like, "Glasses, Hopper!"
Yeah.
And I'm just
and
like,
then he tries
everybody
putting them
calm
back
down.
on, and
Yeah.
people are like, "Hey, dude, idiot, we just told you to take these off." And he's like,
Right.
"Oh, right." Like,
So,
and it showed that he has beef with a Japanese officer.
yeah, from the soccer game.
Yeah.
Right? And none of that matters,
Yeah.
really, because that beef goes away immediately after this next scene, where basically
My beef came back.
your beef came back. And what was that?
Well, they were fighting in a bathroom, so I was like, "Yeah."
Right? So, Hopper
Alex Hopper.
fights with, and his name is Nagata, is the Japanese. Basically, they're in the same rank, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Well, Nagata's a captain.
He's
and
a full
Alex is
captain?
a lieutenant. Yeah.
Okay.
So Alex, though, he goes into the bathroom to, like, splash water in his face to, like, hype himself up to talk to Sam's dad.
Right.
And he's like, "Sir, I'd like to ask. No. Can I have permission?
I'd
Sorry.
like your-
I'd want your hand in marriage? No. Oh, God, stupid. Like,
Right. It's so
I don't-
overacting on something that we all know is cliche, and we know that guys get nervous in this thing. And
but no one mixes up their words talking alone.
no, I usually just I keep adding on to what
Yeah.
I'm practicing. I'm like, no, add this now.
And
or
it
say it this
seems
way.
like-
But not like, "I'd like to marriage your hand." You know, like,
Yeah.
no.
But, like, I feel like this scene could have worked if it added, like, like stupid music, or if it was
This guy is very stupid.
if it was oh my gosh, John Cena.
Okay.
Like, I feel like John Cena could have pulled it off.
John
right?
Cena's
Or The
somewhere
Rock.
being like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck? I'm smart."
No, but he could have pulled off that, like, what am I saying? I'm so like, because
Yeah,
he's played like that kind of character.
telling you,
in other
Blocker's
movies.
good movie.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
Anyway.
I will lick your asshole. The only good line from Trainwreck, because that movie. Ooh.
So, Nagata comes in and stumbles on him doing this, and he kind of like still has the rivalry from the soccer game, and just they get into it, and they get into a fist fight. And then the Jesse Plemons character, boatsman, mate, seaman, Jimmy Ordy Ord. I swear to God, that's his credit. And What? Seaman?
Ord.
Oh.
No, it's just like a stupid boatsman mate.
Yeah.
Seaman dreamy ord.
Right. He stumbles upon hearing that, and I guess tattletales. Yeah. And
but what if he was actually like stumbling? Like it could have sounded.
I
like
thought
he was
it was a
stumbling
gay
upon
joke,
sex.
right?
Yeah,
I
like,
thought
oh,
so,
no.
but they didn't do anything like verbal wise to
just like
no. It was more like it was definitely like a brawl,
Yeah.
and you could hear it, right? I think that might have been the intention, but it did not play off well at all, right? Especially because if he thought it was gay sex, he probably wouldn't have gone to the Admiral and been like, "There's gay sex in the head.
There's porking."
Yeah. So now Hopper and Nagata have to face the Admiral, and basically the Admiral's pissed at him, and he loses his chance to really like talk to the Admiral about the marriage proposal.
The Admiral once again quotes some war book, and then Alex is like, "That's from the," or like finishes the quote and says like, "From this," and he's like, "I'm surprised you knew that. You're so stupid, but you're so smart."
Right.
Is like what he's telling him.
He goes, "I am furious that you know that.
Yeah,
because you are shit."
Yeah,
you know?
he is.
Yeah,
it's like
right.
He spends majority of the movie just like aiming guns at his feet.
Yeah.
Like, he's so dumb.
So, after this, we are shown that he is in command of his own ship in a way. Like, I don't know who the captain is of his ship, because it's not his brother. His brother's on a different ship, right? I'm confused here.
I don't get how things work in that scenario.
I'm not a navalologist. I don't know anything about navals.
Yeah.
And... So, but we are introduced to Rihanna in this scene. Well, we saw her once before, but this is really her, like, I have an attitude, and I'm going to make quips about things that are references, like Donald Trump.
Yeah, they bring up how obnoxious Donald Trump is. And
yeah, they do.
Oh, hey.
The quote is...
They beat that.
Looks like we have... She's talking about Hopper here. She goes, looks like we have a Donald Trump, Mike Tyson mutant combo. And I'm like, I think it's a dig on ego.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's doing a speech to them being like, our objective today is not to...
We're going to be the best.
Meaning,
we won't fail. We're going to blow everyone out of the water.
His brother is doing a similar speech on his ship, and it's like bouncing back and forth between them. And his brother's like, the objective today is to learn from this thing and to grow and things like that. Meanwhile, our hero... in quotation marks, is like, our objective today is go back to port as the fucking winners. Right?
Yeah.
And,
we will not learn. We are going to win.
So I was like, there's a good dig, Rihanna. I mean, it's kind of a little too soon right now, but like,
it was early. It was too early.
Yeah, you were on you were right on the spot right there, right? Trump's like, I don't like Battleship. I never did. It is not the art of my war. I do not like it. It's not accurate. We would win 100% right out the bat.
I would not let the aliens take over.
Battleship, if I was running president and not Barack Obama, who is in this movie, by the way, Battleship would have been 20 minutes long. I actually put it would have been the best thing as president he's ever done, is make this movie 20 minutes long.
So then we show the aliens getting to Earth, and so they start getting through the atmosphere, and I guess one of the ships had a design flaw.
It hits a satellite.
Oh, it hit a satellite.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention then.
It hit a satellite and kind of crash landed, and you don't see it again until the end of the movie.
Well, it crashes, and it like destroys part of Japan, and everyone's like, wow, and that kind of ensues panic. Rather than all of them landing at Hawaii and then doing like the barricade of like media blackout for all of Hawaii, it kind of is leaked. Right. So there are ships outside of the barrier. So these ships land. One of them pops up. The ships that are on their training thing are like, go to those things. Maybe this is part of the exercise. And then they send out a tiny little
like a little military Navy SEALs pontoon boat, and it has Hopper, Rihanna, which I'm just gonna call Rihanna. Like I'm not gonna sit here.
Mate, Seaman, Jimmy Ordy Ord.
Yeah, no, it's not Ordy Ord. It's
just Ordy. But...
No, it's the Filipino guy.
Oh, it is the Filipino. Yeah. Okay, Ordy Ord's still on the boat.
There's a Filipino guy in this film. That
Lieutenant.
No,
Mick is the Oh gosh, Mick is
Mick?
the guy with no legs.
Right, which is another thing. Like that, and that's what I meant about like out of the 600 extras in this film, they all are interchangeable. Like they're not that good of actors or memorable.
Yeah.
And it's not racist when I say they kind of look the same too.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's that kind of military style,
right?
of
It's
just,
because of their haircut, and they're all dressed the same, and they have like similar like Hawaiian features or anything. You're just like, I don't know how to tell you apart. Like, I need to tell you apart because there's so much going on in this film, and there's so many scenes that are interchangeable and the same fucking thing happening the whole time that I really need you to be like, here's the white guy, here's Rihanna, here's this. Like, I need that because I don't know any of your names because you're literally going around calling each other Lieutenant, Captain.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do this?
So while the alien ships are crashing, we also get a side scene of Sam, who is a physical therapist.
Yes.
And she is at like the physical therapy center, and she takes out Lieutenant Colonel Mick. And he is a double amputee, an actual veteran.
Right.
So, like, kudos to him.
And that's another thing where I'm like, this would be awesome and more like powerful to me. Like, not that it wasn't, but now we're throwing World War II vets, amputee veterans. Like, it's like anything we can.
But the sad part is, I thought Mick was one of the best actors.
He was.
And he's never acted before.
Right. He was, because
like,
when you
crap.
first see him, I was like, that guy's got
He's
intensity.
mad, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, oh, he's coming from a real place. I think that's what, like, when you really think about it, I'm like, there's no way that
He's been there.
this man hasn't actually been in that situation of being like, all I knew was war and now I can't do war, and like this sucks. My life is changed forever and I have to like readjust, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's best actor because he came from a place of reality where I like more. The best actors were the veterans too.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I love all these grizzled World War
Except
II
for,
guys
like,
by the
cheesy
end.
lines.
They are, but it's kind of like, hey, old guy, you want to do something fun? He's like, I got nothing going on.
You knew too, like, if that actually happened, they would have been like, yeah, I want to do it. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm at the end of life anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, I guarantee none of them got paid more than just, like, here's per diem for the day. You know?
You get to have craft services.
Yeah.
That's our gift to you.
Oh, wow. Somebody's doing arts and crafts?
Yeah. So Sam and Mick, they go on a hike up a mountain to get Mick kind of in a better place with walking. She's trying to rehabilitate him.
Yeah,
rehab, whatever
she's a
it is.
physical therapy psychiatrist.
Yeah, his
Right?
mind's in a
She's
funk.
on that. Right.
Which mine would be too if I lost both my legs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So they're hiking up the mountain, and it's just established that they're going to basically be wrong place, wrong time, whole movie.
Yeah.
And so meanwhile,
Our
Hopper...
ships crash. They see the ships crash.
Yeah, they see the ships crash. Hopper is investigating with Rihanna on that pontoon boat.
Yeah.
And
Dinghy. Well, it's a motorized little aircraft.
Something.
It's something.
But
It's a boat.
So because the ship is so submerged underwater, but yet still so big that he's able to actually like dock next to the ship and actually walk on the ship itself. And he just touches the wrong thing, gets zapped into the water, and immediately, as always, America's just like, we have a hostile. Like, we gotta blow it up. And this is weird in this whole movie, okay? I could not understand this whole, like, green is good, I can, like, sense your heartbeat. Like,
I think the whole thing was like, is it a threat? Is it not a threat?
Right. Which also makes me go, like, were these aliens actually going to attack unless provoked?
Yeah, that kind of is the same thing, but then it also gets weird later with the balls.
Flashback.
Well, no,
I mean the future flash that he sees.
but the machine ball.
The
thing.
Rippers?
Yeah, the Rippers.
We'll call the Rippers. I like the Rippers. Right?
So we'll get to them and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay. But that's the thing is, like, you keep seeing this, like, heads-up display throughout the whole movie, whether it be from the ship's point of view or the aliens within their suits or these Ripper balls that we'll talk about. There is this, like, it's like a yellow playing field, like a scope of vision that they can see, and then they like target what they want, and it's red if it like seems hostile and green for not, right? So in this moment, because Hopper did a stupid thing and touched something he wasn't supposed to and got blown back into the water, kind of just like an electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah.
Immediately, they're like, "We got a hostile," and they like fire a shell from one of the battleships. And then the ship, basically the aliens are like, "Well, fuck you."
Yeah.
Right? They put up this gigantic like bubble shield like it's in Phantom Menace and immediately like go on the defensive.
Yeah.
And it does seem like the aliens kind of are on the defensive the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right? Although they are here to possibly attack. Nobody really knows their motives.
Yeah.
And it's not like Independence Day.
Yeah.
Right? Because although this movie basically is Independence Day, it doesn't have the same thing where it's like in Independence Day, the first sign of being like, "Oh, we're fucked," is like when the helicopters go up to the ship and all they're doing is trying to communicate with using like flashy lights. They're like, "Well, maybe they haven't done via sound. Maybe we'll do via visual." And then they open up the door. They're like, "Oh, they're communicating," and then just shoot the helicopters down.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh, you're done."
Yeah.
You know? So, like, that isn't like that here.
Yeah.
This was like,
Well, they
dummy
tried.
touched something.
Well, no. First, they tried the signaling with the horn. They were like, "Brrr."
Yeah, but
and then the
that's
ship
their
responded
terms
with
of
like,
communication. Like, this is always
well,
the
no,
thing that
our
bothers
ship
me.
responded with that.
Huh?
Or our ship started with just like a horn.
Right.
They were like, "Hey-oh, you there?" And then
Yeah.
the other ship responded with like extreme pulse, and it blew out all the windows on all the ships.
Yeah, but that could be a happy accident for them. You know, that could be like,
yeah.
burn. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so.
Oh God,
so
our
sorry.
sound is so much louder. Our bass is turned up real hard.
Yeah, right. Like that's what I mean about the when I commented in the rundown about the over American machismo that always happens, where they're like have to hit something with force.
Yeah,
and it wasn't really. They feel threatened instead of it actually being a legitimate threat. Because I don't really see the aliens as a legitimate threat, like hardcore. Like they don't seem to ever really kill anybody until provoked, right? They don't sink a battleship until the battleship fires on them. They don't go and do anything, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. The only thing that you can use as an audience
later.
member.
Why would they knock down the highways?
Huh?
They have no reason
We're going to get to there.
Yeah. That's
okay,
my
so
thing.
let's go. All right. So, yes, they do put up a shield. They do this EMP kind of pulse.
Yeah.
Right? And then they decide to fire some weird mortars, basically. And it said in the trivia, did you read this, that the mortars
it's the markers
are
from,
the pegs from the battleship? I was like, I was happier not knowing that.
Yeah.
And then I read it. I was like, so
stupid.
dumb.
Yeah. And so, long story short, Alexander Skarsgård, Commander Stonehopper, their boat gets entirely decimated, and no one lives.
His brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Hopper, older Hopper,
Mm-hmm.
that boat gets just destroyed.
Right.
And then...
So then the big ship launches out Ripper balls.
Yes.
Okay, now these are like giant balls that also have they look like maces. God, we keep using mace but it's a good example.
Do you remember from Transformers the razor leopard?
Yes.
That's essentially what they were to me.
Yeah, kind of like scouts in a bit. Yeah.
They were just like balls of razor blades that also had tails when they needed them. And so
I didn't see any tails.
Yeah, it's when the one helicopter that starts to get away, it shoots out a chain and whips up and like rips the tail of the helicopter off, and that helicopter
way cool
crashes.
If that kept happening.
Right?
Yeah.
So the balls basically fly towards like the Hawaii Islands, and they notice
a naval base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're able to recognize weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
And they start destroying all of the helicopters, all of the military machines. And then one of the balls goes and recognizes a highway. And this is where I'm like, I don't think they recognize
a baseball field.
Well, it didn't recognize that.
Yeah,
it just landed there.
It landed on the baseball field and sees a kid who's at home base trying to play like a little league game.
It notices
right?
his eyes and his heart.
Right.
And
it stops right in front of him before it it's still like spinning like the ripping, shredding gears, but it has like paused. It's not rolling, and it analyzes his eye, then analyzes his heartbeat, like, and turns from red as a threat to green, and then like turns 90 degrees and goes another direction. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, can't hurt kids, you know, like something like that.
Then the ball recognizes before that, it sees that, like, it just kind of lands in that area because it was trying to get close to the highways.
Right.
So it can go and it can destroy the highway support beams.
Right.
So I think it's more of
access.
Well, it's if that person has potential to be a threat.
Right.
Is kind of it, like, in that moment, because that it's, to me, it's like the aliens are trying to more destroy infrastructure, so then they can.
Because I don't think they want to kill us. It doesn't seem like
they
it,
just
right?
want to destroy. Well, they don't want to kill us. They want to destroy the planet, so there is no threat. I think they're trying to wipe out the threat before it becomes a threat.
See, that's the problem. Is nobody established, like, do they want our resources? Do they think we're a threat? Like, nobody was clear on their motives through the whole thing. And that's where I'm saying, like, I'm confused, like, and especially when they do this kind of stuff, being like, analyzing, not threat. And I'm like, well, clearly you don't want to wipe out the human race, or you would just do it, you know? So what is the issue? So it destroys the highway, and then we start to get, what's his butt? Hopper, the only Hopper left, is really upset. He gets back to the ship and he's like, charge the alien ship and we're going to blow it to pieces. So they start charging towards it. Because he's pissed off that his brother's dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they start charging towards it, and then the alien ship is about to fire at them, but then Nagata's boat, he fires at the alien ship to distract them.
Mm-hmm. And it basically puts him dead in the water.
Yeah.
And his Hawaiian friend, again, the one that was on the pontoon boat with him, is like, there are sailors in the water, asshole!
Well, no, so Nagata shoots the alien ship, and then the alien ship blows up, like, the front of the hull.
Right.
And then he says that.
And that's...
You skipped the part where the aliens blew up the hull of the ship.
I thought I just said that. I thought I said that he's dead in the water.
Yeah, but you didn't say that the alien ship shot him.
Oh,
you
just
said he was dead in the water.
He was dead in the water.
Yeah, that's just an expression.
Oh.
That dead in the water just means, like, you're open to attack.
Well, he was.
Yeah, but you never said he actually got attacked.
Yeah. Well,
you're like, he could have been hit. So they were like, there's people in the water.
Yeah.
I was like, what? No. So Nagata's boat does get hit, but then they're like, there's people dead in the water as they're still charging towards the alien craft. The alien craft is now, like, gonna point at the ship that's coming towards them. But then they turn and they go to get the survivors from Nagata's boat. And because the alien ship is like, oh, they're not coming towards us, we don't need to shoot them anymore, they just don't.
Right.
Which I'm like,
Once again, I don't think they want to kill us.
My other problem with this
maybe
is,
enslave us? I don't know.
Right? Whenever, like, their missile stuff is extremely visible. So whenever they, like, start to put up their missiles to shoot at one of the American ships, you can see them. But we never, like, got the idea, hey, maybe shoot at their missiles before they launch, so it just blows up that part of the ship.
Oh, you mean shoot at the turret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one thought of that. And then it finally happens at the very last ship.
Yeah.
At the very end of the movie. I was like, why didn't you do that the entire time?
Oh, no, these are the worst militaristic people I've ever seen. And, I mean, maybe because they're now being led
Nagata's
by
the only
Hopper.
smart one.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
Well, because he's Japanese.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah.
So, meanwhile, as they rescue Nagata's stuff, they tell Hopper that he needs to come down to the lower decks because some people found an alien that actually washed up like to the side of their boat, like a body. And they investigate the body. They take the helmet off, and the alien's not dead. It comes alive and starts fighting them. And then a whole bunch of aliens like blow a hole through the hull and save that said one alien.
Yeah.
But then there's one still on the ship.
Yeah.
Right?
So that one alien has a moment of his bare hand grabbing the alien that was like the fugitive that they took.
Right.
His bare hand grabs Hopper in the forehead. And Hopper has this like vision of the future of aliens invading Earth and taking over and destroying Earth.
Where have I seen that before? Maybe
I can't think of the movie, but
Bill
I know
Pullman
exactly what you're talking
Independence
about.
Day, the president.
Sure. I don't know. Sure.
You know, maybe.
Yeah. I haven't seen
'Cause that's
Independence Day in so long.
like what happens in the Area 51.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And
like,
then
God, it's such a horrible ripoff.
it's so bad. So then a fight between this like super general of the alien squads
Who seems to have a transforming claw arm,
yeah,
but also like seems to keep transforming it, but not doing anything with it.
yeah,
Like just every shot is just like,
Yeah.
right, and you're like, oh, he's got a claw now,
yeah,
right, like a crowbar, and then it's like, and, oh, maybe not, you know, like it doesn't make any sense.
So they
There's a
who is it?
stabbing spear at one
Hopper's
point.
yeah, Hopper kind of saves
It's Hopper and Rihanna. They're kind of chasing
other
it
guy.
around, right? Oh yeah, the Hawaiian guy, keeps,
Petty
like,
Officer
fighting
Walter
it.
the Beast.
Maybe he was pretty big,
Yeah, maybe.
but
sounds
either
right.
way, they save the beast.
Yeah.
and then,
Kill the beast.
And then Hopper's like, get to, and he says something that I
The
don't know.
CIC.
Right? I didn't know what CIC meant, but
Commander in charge. I don't know.
but
control.
he's distracting the alien. The alien is following him as he leads it towards the upper deck. And then apparently the CIC is Rihanna's battleship station, in which she directs one of the guns directly into the back of the alien that it doesn't see on the deck and just blows it away. Meanwhile, saying, Mahala, right? And this pisses me off because it's another movie just like where they're like, well, if it's R, we're not going to get that many sales. Yeah. But if it's PG-13, it's okay. But we want them to say things because this is like 2 of 3 times where they want to say fuck, and the scene edits over to something else like
Mahalo, mother.
Right.
It's like what happens.
If you hear in our theme song, I use the like, let's drop some lead on these mother, right? And you're just like, just say it.
Yeah.
You know?
You get one.
Right? It's the same thing as, it's the only of one of the diehards that did this is Die Hard 4.
Where he actually died hard, fully erect.
And then came back. Oh, yeah. God.
Then he came back.
Right?
He was like,
no, it's the Live Free or Die Hard one.
I saw that one.
Yeah. So
I saw it at a drive-in.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, the whole movie, right? So finally, right as the bad guy, like the final bad guy is going to do him in,
it's going to do him.
He's like, he's got him at gunpoint or something, and he's like, yippee-ki-yay, mother, and just pulls the trigger, and you're just like, how could you not say it?
Yeah.
You know? So this is another moment of just being like, you want to say it, just say it.
Yeah.
I think we'd feel better if you just did. You know? It'd be a way better line.
It's like blue balling us with the F word.
Yeah. Like, just say it. Or don't write the line.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid.
Right.
So, yeah. She blows the alien away.
It's magically nighttime.
Yeah.
Then, so, Sam, just so we don't forget about him, Sam and Mick, they're still on the mountain. At this point, they have run into some mountain officers, I guess.
Right.
And they're like, get off the mountain because the aliens are here.
Because it's nighttime.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, this is like their daytime still. So,
meanwhile,
like, this
everything
was,
we're talking
yeah.
about, they have bounced back to
Yeah.
them. So what you're mentioning might have actually happened like 30 minutes ago.
So Sam and Mick, they run into these officers. The officers are like, "Get off the mountain. We got to go up to the top of the mountain where the aliens are landing."
Mm-hmm.
And they leave a car there to block the trail. So Mick is like, "I'm gonna keep going because like I've never seen an alien." So Mick is like, I think Mick was just like, his character choice was like, I'll die. I don't care.
I think that. I mean, but that's legitimate.
Yeah.
I think he was just like, you know,
his headspace was perfect.
She goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Have you ever seen an alien?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he's got nothing.
Touche,
and he's
sir.
Like,
touche. You know,
my favorite
like,
thing was walking, and they took that away from me. So now I'm gonna just go see an alien.
Right?
Like,
and so some aliens rip those police officers to shreds.
Yeah.
And then
they find the torn up cars, and so they're like, we got to get the other Jeep and get off the mountain. Can we steal the keys? It's on his belt. So as this is happening,
also like the aliens are like kind of constructing their own communication device onto our superpowered, the Beacon Project thing. And so that they can basically send out signal for reinforcement, being like, this is what's up at Earth. You're all good. Come on down.
Nerd guy was up at the satellites, but then got called away because...
Nerd guy is so unimportant.
Nerd guy is obnoxious, and he's like, I'm not going with you. Wait.
And also, when he runs into
them...
He sees the handicap guy with, like, he's... Basically,
Oh,
handicap
that
guy
was so
has
insensitive.
2 pole leg prosthetics. That's the style that he has, right? And immediately, he's like, oh my god, a cyborg? And you're like, what the fuck,
Have
dude?
you never seen an amputee?
Right?
Like, how stupid are you for being that smart?
What a horribly insensitive, joke to insert in.
I know.
Like, I was like, no.
At that point in the movie, I was like,
also,
they
to
don't
a real
care.
veteran.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Like, nothing about it. Was once again trying way too hard to be Michael Bay and failing at it, because Michael Bay would have been the same insensitive joke, but somehow inside you would have been like,
yeah. Exactly.
God, I hate that. I like
it would have
your
been something like
comedy, Michael.
Oh my God! Now they're trying to morph to look like us with robotics,
right?
Like something stupid like that, to where it kind of makes it more realistic, but it's still like, oh, that's just you didn't take a few seconds.
Yeah, but also that guy's a scientist.
I know. That's why I was like, how do you not know?
It was stupid and made me angry at that character
So,
and the movie's decisions at that point.
So the scientist is basically like, oh, the shield is just shielding the stuff outside of it. We can use this type of communication that I have in this briefcase. So they get it. It's dangerous where they're like, the aliens are there. But then, of course, they get it, and they can communicate with the ship that Sam's Bay is on, which is Alex Hopper. And so they talk to each other.
I'm confused because I was like, Sam Bay? His name's Michael Bay.
No. So Sam's Bay.
Right. Oh, also,
B-A-E.
this is like where they show that the alien... like is about to catch them, and then like hears like a horse and sees said horse and like scans the horse, and then like it's weird when the alien scans you, it also like brings up like just a part like that like references you, so it like scans horse and like a symbol of like a horseshoe comes up below it. It was like horseshoe.
It hacks
safe,
into our
not
internet,
threat, right? Because
it's
like,
lucky.
Because
later on, 4 lucky points.
Later on, it scans the handicap guy and then shows a picture of like 2 metal legs.
Yeah. Well, my favorite
like,
scan,
what?
it scans the nerd guy, and it's like, glasses, not a threat, super nerd, not
Super
a threat,
dork.
glasses. I was like, oh God, that's
it did,
real, though.
right?
Yeah.
Like, not like, what are you doing here? What is this suitcase? It's like, go ahead, take suitcase, you nerd.
Right. So, they're talking with Alex Hopper, and they're like, oh, we only have until sunrise. They're allergic to the sun. They're allergic to the sun because they're amphibious. Not allergic. Like, basically, like, too much light, like, they can't see.
Yeah, so Ordy Ord basically was carrying around...
This is the lizard gecko story.
he was carrying around the alien that they thought was dead but wasn't. They took off its helmet. He has been, like, he's wearing the helmet on top of the deck, and he realizes that something
Super
about the
sunglasses.
visor is about, super sunglasses, and they must be allergic to, like, in a stupid way, instead of just being like, these look like sunglasses.
No, it's not like they're allergic to it. It's just that, like, they're
ultra sensitive.
Yeah, their eyesight is ultra sensitive,
just
to
like his
light.
lizard in a stupid lizard story.
Which is why the humans or the aliens are more amphibious version of humans,
right?
Where we are more primate versions of humans.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Which is why they always wear those spacesuits.
Or maybe they're just nocturnal.
Could be. I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
I think that's why they were. I think that's why they were like they look like powder. Like they were just like completely pale, just because they don't get any sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess they did think through some of the things in this movie.
They talk it through, and they're like, hey, we got to destroy these satellites or their communication stuff, but we also need to take out these ships. So then Captain Nagata, he has a really good plan of using these electronic buoys in the water that are placed all over to measure the waves. And it's kind of, I thought it was good. I thought it was a smart idea. I know it's probably a cop-out.
It's not. That's not why I'm angry about it. I'm angry about it because this is literally like how they tried to incorporate the game of Battleship.
Oh yeah, but see, I didn't
like
recognize
an actual
that till,
grid,
a little while after.
Because I'm like, are there that many fucking buoys in the water that like literally are in a like 4x4 square grid?
Right.
Like, So basically, his plan is that the buoys have all they're all computerized and they detect wave motion, and that's a way that you can actually determine if there's a ship that's doing water displacement. Actually, the science is really interesting, right? Where you're
it's a great plan,
right?
But it's also oh, this is our connection.
Because this is also a thing where they go, we can't see them and they can't see us. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I saw them seeing you, right? And you, in turn, seeing them. You guys aren't that far away.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, maybe because all their glass on their ships and on their helmets is to protect them from sunlight. So their visors definitely are going to have some major tinting on them.
So, they
so
can't
maybe
see
at night they can't see as well.
Yeah, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
I'll go with it. But...
So I'm positive that their sensors still work because they can still scan and locate and determine if it's red or green, if it's go or stop.
Sure.
So then they first try it out, they miss the first ship, and then it draws the attention of two ships, and as they're both coming towards them, they fire two different missiles, and they take out two ships at once. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. He's really broken up about this part.
No, I was like, suppress the cough, get your sentence out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so sorry.
Either way, it's a grid of buoys. They're taking out two ships. I mean, it was cool, but at the same time, as soon as I saw the grid and they were doing hit, miss, I'm like, this is literally the only thing that you base this entire 2.5 hour movie on is this one scene.
They should have not made it connected to the movie and or to the game, and it probably would have made a little bit better sense if they didn't make those stretches for it.
Let's pause for a second, and I'm going to ask you, would you have appreciated this movie more if it legitimately was just Battleship versus Battleship? Maybe not set in current day.
Movie.
Yeah, but still, would you have appreciated it more? No?
Because I just don't care about war movies. I think it would have been better executed, and I think it would have been a better plan, but I wouldn't have watched it on my own because I just...
Yeah, no. It still would have been on this show.
I think it wouldn't have been... Well, no, see, I don't think it would have been as bad because they wouldn't have had to do, such reaches.
True. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I sit here and I'm like, what? This is the loosest tie-in possible. Yeah. And what also, sucks about this is that it's Hasbro, the company, only knows Michael Bay and Transformers, right? And so they're like, well, it worked before,
right?
So what?
It's the formula.
What would Sorry's game been?
Yeah,
it's just robots came and then just started bumping and sliding into people and being like, sorry.
I don't know, because I'm curious.
Sorry for the racist jokes.
Or
sorry.
Monopoly being like, aliens come
and build houses and hotels.
Hasbro has a monopoly over the game Monopoly. Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Welcome to Boardwalk, bitches. Mahalo, motherfucker.
So they realize that there's
I'm sorry. I got all the railroads.
How do they get the final ship? Not the final ship, the third ship.
Okay, so...
Or the first ship. When did one ship explode?
All right, so third ship it's starting to become daylight, dawn.
See, yes.
And Nagata and Hopper both go up with 50 cal sniper rifles up to the deck and are as soon as the sun comes up over the horizon, you fire right into their windshield.
So I didn't fully understand this scene until I realized the sun was rising, and where the American or the human ship was, the sun's rising behind them, so they're not at the disadvantage. But the aliens, it's coming straight in, and morning light is the worst thing in the world. Yeah. It's so bright, so direct. Right? So they shoot out the windows.
On the 91.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's terrible.
91 going west.
Fuck. That's me,
that's 5
morning.
p.m. actually. It's
91 going east is me in the morning.
God, people are like,
localization.
I am not in California, you fucks.
I hate you.
You guys are both not from California, and half of your fan base is from somewhere else, and somehow you still want to talk about California.
God, it's so real.
That's our whole fan base.
And
all you do is make fun of us from back home.
So they, they blow out the windows. They distract them enough to shoot them and blow them up.
Worst
and it's
show
fine,
ever.
Right?
0 stars.
So at this point, they're cool, now we just got to go and blow up the satellites. But the massive ship that made the dome around them has started moving. And someone was like, I didn't think that moved. And I was like, it had to travel across space, you dummy. Do you think it wasn't going to move now?
Yeah, they didn't think the dome moved. Like, it moves with the platform that's projecting it.
I was like, okay, sure. So this thing comes up to them, and it's like, I'm another ship, watch out. And it blows the hell out of our ship.
Yeah, because they sent more Ripper stuff, right? And I was like, why didn't you just use the Rippers all the time?
Yeah, the Rippers are a great solution.
They do a really good job.
Maybe they don't have a lot of battery power. Because I don't know what
like
happened
RC
to the first
motors?
3.
Yeah. Are they still ripping across America?
They're like, they're just going to the core of the Earth like, we don't know when to stop. Like,
Right.
We're out of range of Bluetooth, so we just continued to go.
They just kept going,
Yeah.
and then they triggered the volcano that's happening now.
Hawaii, too.
Hawaii, too.
So these Rippers, like, tear the ship apart. Everyone's abandoning ship. For some reason,
Hopper, yeah.
and Nagata, Hopper...
Do the end of Titanic?
Yeah! They're not like, let's jump to the side of the ship, which
Right.
after you see what happens, it kind of makes sense, but they wouldn't have known that. They could have easily, like,
Yeah,
when
they had
got
no
on the
idea
outside.
how the Ripper was going to rip through the ship.
Yeah. So they, like, climb up the ship as it's slanting. They get to the top, and they're like, let's jump off. And they jump, like, towards the propellers.
Right. So anybody who
multiple
remembers
stories.
Titanic, like, you remember, like, Jack and what's-her-face, Rose.
Rose, hold your breath.
I'll never
Okay?
let go. Yeah,
The ship
it's that
definitely
scene.
won't pull us down.
Right. Well, he says you need to hold your in that, and because I said anybody knows what Leo said at the end of that moment, this would not have worked for them either.
Yeah.
Right. Is that basically he's
You're
like
so
the ship
stupid,
is going to
Rose.
suck us down as it goes under in the final moment. Right. If anybody doesn't remember the scene at this point that I'm trying to recreate, like I don't know what to tell you, but like they're on the bow of the ship, and the thing that's different here is like. They don't
Unsinkable
let
Molly
it
Brown
sink.
is already in the water. She didn't get it on a lifeboat.
Right, and you would think that he would just
Like,
get onto a
save
wardrobe
the
and
heart
then
of the ocean,
hold on to
but he
Nagata.
doesn't.
Yeah,
He just throws it in. He's like, ah! And then him and Nagata
Goddamn
jump in.
fucking old lady, fucking old Rose.
He's so pissed at her. You're so stupid, Rose.
Bill
That's my
Paxton
favorite line.
still pissed.
Yeah. Pissed beyond the grave.
Dead in the grave and
R.I.P.
pissed about
I loved
it.
him. He was so handsome.
I know. It was his birthday. We celebrated it on Instagram like last week.
Oh,
Yeah. it was
happy
his-
belated, Bill.
Happy belated. Anyway, so it would have sucked them down into the sinking ship, and it doesn't. They're fine and moving on.
Yeah.
You
They're
know?
all in their little, like, floatable
They're kind of defeated,
safety
whatever
boat. And they're like, what do we do now? And they're like, we don't have any more ships. We've got
We've got one.
ship.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun. Naval Marines.
And then we flash over to the soundtrack of
AC/DC again.
not
That's
the
the
soundtrack
second
of
time.
AC/DC, the soundtrack of the other machines taking advantage.
Oh.
So disappointed I forgot the name of the movie we covered.
Huh? Yeah, it's Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive.
Which is
We flash
AC/DC.
over to the
Yeah,
Maximum
yeah.
Overdrive soundtrack.
Yeah.
And we're like, thunder.
Well, we'd heard it once before.
Yeah.
Was it the same song?
I think it might have just been an AC/DC song, because I remember being like, oh, hey, AC/DC.
Right.
But then
Because
part of me
I
was
have
like, oh, I'm
AC/DC
not smart
written in
enough.
my notes twice.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was the same. I don't know if it was Thunderstruck both times. So basically, they were playing it as everybody went into their like rim pack.
Oh, yeah.
Sexual games.
It's basically just the tip.
Yeah.
Rim Pact is another name for just the tip, but it's like a localization thing.
Yeah. So
You know, like some people
basically-
call it soda, some people call it pop, some people
Yeah.
call it Rim Pact, some people call it just the tip.
So they get onto the Missouri, and immediately there's like a whole bunch of older veterans who are like just standing at different places in the ship very stoically, like
Yeah.
they've been waiting for this moment, and like finally somebody called upon us
Yeah.
to serve again.
Well, it's like they
Right? Like as if like that's what happens. Like veterans are like, the VA wasn't open today, so I'm just gonna stand on the
Oh.
Missouri.
So-
and I know,
but they, like-
was that too hard?
they go up to the veterans before they like take over the ship, and they're like, "We need your help because you know how to like pilot this thing." And they're
Right.
like, okay, so it shows them like getting ready to like take the ship and make
Right.
it from a museum to a functioning
Meanwhile,
ship.
Thunderstruck!
But like the first thing that you see isn't like, let's open the ship up. It's like, there's a claw machine, destroy it. And they destroy a claw machine. I'm like, keep that
It's
on
in like
there.
slow motion.
I know.
And so they're like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And let's do this meant like, fuck this museum.
There was no reason for that. I was like, oh my gosh.
This is a horrible monument to the people who died here. Fuck this claw machine.
They cut the chains, they take the boat out, and then they start fighting the final ship.
Right.
And this whole final battle is basically like,
Young people versus old people on the ship versus aliens.
yeah. Well, they kind of work together. But
No, they
like,
do, but it's like every single young person gets their shit handed to them by an old guy.
The old
being
person's like, you're an idiot, it's steam.
like, you're just gonna stand there all day, son?
Yeah.
Like, so
I
condescending.
love how angry the old people are.
Right?
But the big fight here turns into we've got one missile left, and that ship is going to wreck us.
Well, no, they do this thing before the one
Oh
left,
yes, okay,
right?
that's it.
So because they actually destroy that ship, and then the one thing is left for the satellite.
they-
remember? So
Turn to the right.
okay, basically he's like, oh, what if we just like came at them like almost like get so close that their guns are like we get beyond their guns. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's get around their
Well,
guns.
he realized that their guns can't turn
beyond
right,
a
left.
certain.
Yeah.
They have like basically like a 110
really bad
degree
radius.
angle.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's get around them, and then like drop anchor at like.
But
then he like Tokyo drifts the entire Missouri.
He also, though, kind of recognized, he was like, oh, turn your guns. And I don't know if he was like, turn your guns because they recognize when guns are pointed at them and that makes them red.
I think that's part of it.
But it also seemed that he was like, turn your guns because we're going to turn the ship so the guns are facing the wrong way. And then we're going to
I think that's exactly
drop
what you're saying.
anchor so then the guns are turned directly at them.
So they knew exactly when the guns were going to aim at them, and then they would consider them a threat and fire upon them, and they would have been done.
Yeah.
So in this instance, he's like, turn them the exact opposite way so that when we're approaching them, they're like, they're just coming to say hi, I guess, you know, and then drop anchor so that we Tokyo drift the entire ship with the guns pointing very quickly in that direction, and then he's just like fire on them.
And this is when they actually do shoot at their missile launchers with the missiles in them.
Right.
The only time.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh darn it.
Everything gets wiped out.
Which I just think that was Nagata's plan.
Right.
Nagata was like, listen to me, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. Although I did like this, but I knew the line was coming a mile away. Basically,
oh my gosh, we're going to die. You're going to die. We're all going to die.
Just not
today.
Right?
That was
and then,
such
like,
a predictable
5
line.
minutes later, he's like, "It was good serving with you. I guess we're gonna die."
I know.
Like,
So they take that ship out. The shields go down, but that ship, before it went down, it shot out the 3 Ripper balls. And this is when they had one missile left.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, well, we're going to aim our missile at the communications.
the shell. Just
one shell.
For those who are going to correct us.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Does anyone ever actually take the time to correct us?
Sometimes.
Wow.
Recently, people have been participating more.
Good. Do it
Yeah.
even more than that.
Right?
Jeez.
I'm
not hearing
Somebody
you.
commented the other, yesterday, being like, longer than the movie was, and I'm like, well, fuck you.
That's our only
Free content.
Yeah, that's our only ever thing. Plus, majority of our content is just us talking
Yeah, like
about not the
if
movie.
you don't like us, don't listen.
Majority of our content is us talking.
That's
Yeah, it's a podcast, dumbass. So,
They're gonna get what they want on this one because this movie is 2:11. We'll never get there
yeah,
on this
no,
episode. So
this
there you
is
go.
too long of a movie. So,
We're at the finale here.
They put the shell out.
They carry the shell because basically
It's
the
1,000
ship,
pounds.
the ship does launch a Ripper ball and destroys that gun turret that had basically all the ammunition. Oh, by the way, how did a floating museum have all this ammunition on it still?
I don't know.
I just wanted to bring that up.
I
thought
don't.
you might have an explanation.
You'd think they'd take it out in case there was an attack, and they just blew up everything.
Well, you would not have something that is a floating museum like still have its operating. Like it might be operational, but it's not going to have.
It's a floating museum, but it's ready to fight.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like all those old sailing ships in the harbor back in Baltimore.
It's like if an actual museum had a bunch of old guns, but it was like we keep the ammo in them in case we need to use the guns.
Well, you know, like the knight's armor in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yeah,
yeah, just always ready to fight the Nazis. It does destroy that, and they need to carry a 1,000-pound shell. So they might have more shells, but they only have a working turret that's literally on the other side of the ship. So that they need like 6 dudes just to carry even 1,000-pound shell. So like we got one shot at this, and that shell is going to be targeted at the Beacon Project, which is a split second away from sending out that message. But it actually does send out a message for a second.
See, okay, it said that, but the satellites on Earth, it takes 3 of them to send the message to the one in space.
It's
so
overcomplicated.
the 3 were sending the message to space, but the satellite in space never sent anything.
The rest of the way.
Yeah.
Right, because it needs to align by like 8:08 in the
so
morning
like
or something.
there was a fun fact that was like it still sent a message, and it's like no, the big satellite in space never sent anything.
Right.
It
but
couldn't
still,
have.
you're just like, whatever.
I know.
So at this time, by the way, when the shield went down, Liam Neeson, who literally only shows up in this movie like at the end again, and then maybe one other scene where he's like, "If you want to come out here and order me and my men to do that, you better get it on the planes yourself." And you're like, "All right," and then like he's not seen again until this scene where finally the shield goes down and he's like, "I want every available man in their plane. Let's go!" Right? But then 15 minutes later happen. And they're still struggling with Missouri versus this thing. Yeah. And they finally get off their final mortar shell before the battleship that is crippled but still has like one ripper ball to go. And they're like, nice serving with you.
Oh, because it's like machine is like in the ground. It's like ready to shoot them out.
Yeah. And at the split second, they're like, fire the mortar, and I hope Sam's not up on that mountain range because I'm going to have to risk my girl's life to save the world.
Yeah.
Fires the mortar. Sam's not up there. There was a crippled person versus alien fight to try to delay the satellite.
The nerd saved him.
Yeah, but none of that matters because that mortar shell was going to destroy everything regardless if they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't delay anything.
I don't remember why they were there.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? But this mortar shell blows up the satellite. In that split second, as they're about to die, the fighter jets come in and do the final blow to the big bad ship. And you're just like, it doesn't take that long to scramble those fighter jets. Like, they should have been there. Like, this split second shit is too much.
Yeah.
You're just like, give us some
Well, the
credit.
shield goes down. He's like, I want every spaceship. I want every aircraft up there right now. And then I was like, that takes a while to launch an aircraft
Apparently
into the
not.
sky. But it didn't.
According to my uncle, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, it's just, basically, you can scramble a fighter jet within like
But they need to put it on the slingshot.
They're ready to go.
Okay.
From an aircraft carrier? Because that's where he served. Like, they're ready to go.
Sorry,
like,
not an aircraftologist.
Yeah.
Beating a dead horse with the ologist joke this episode.
Yeah. So that's it. That they saved the day.
There's an awards ceremony.
Right.
Next to the memorial graveyard, which I was like,
harping really hard on this, aren't we?
Yeah. I was like, I get it.
Yeah, and then
remember those that have fallen and those that will rise.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't want us to seem insensitive. It's
I just don't understand it.
It's piling it on so thick that you're just like, you could roll your eyes and just go, God, I don't even think veterans are happy about this film. So
I don't even.
You're not honoring them by this film. So let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Right. And then Hopper finally works up the courage to ask for the daughter's hand in marriage. Liam Neeson says no, but he's just kind of faking him out, and he's like,
I'm going to go have a microwave burrito for lunch.
Yeah.
And he's like, she told you about that? And he's like, why don't you join me for lunch, and let's work out something for this
The
marriage.
terms of your surrender,
Yeah.
he said.
I was like,
that sounds like you're surrendering, as if like you're giving up your male freedom, and like, but you're referencing your daughter. Like, that's not a good joke.
Have my daughter's hand, but I'm going to take your testicles.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, God,
right?
okay.
Oh, but also, like, why not just say yes and have a happy ending?
I
Like,
know.
why do we have to, like,
Make it
do
so
this
aggressive.
fake out, right? And also, like, we need to talk about the terms of you saving the world again, probably. Because did you watch the end credits scene?
The post
Oh, you did.
Which I was like, I jokingly was like, I wonder if there is one. And there is one.
Yeah.
It's like a rock fell to earth. It looked like it was an escape
part
pod.
of the one that, like, of the 5, when it hit that satellite, I think it broke off.
Debris fell everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also might have been an escape pod.
I don't know. It's in Ireland.
Yeah.
So
it's
doesn't
entirely
actually...
sealed around, right?
Right.
And so it's like 3 schoolboys happen upon it, and then they call the blacksmith.
I don't know.
He's got every tool ever. I thought he was like an auto mechanic, but he has everything. And they eventually open it
got a
up.
tiger on the back of his jumpsuit.
They're like, oh, what's in there? And then all of a sudden you see like the alien hand like grab the side, and they're like, bah! And then it ends. And it's like, well, they set it up for a sequel, but I don't think they're getting one.
Well, that's in Sorry.
Sorry
gets really dark.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it's Monopoly because they take over.
Yes.
Oh no! It's a saga. It's Trouble.
Yeah.
And then
there's Trouble. Then they're sorry about the trouble.
And then there's Uno.
Yeah.
When
there's just one thing left.
Yeah.
That's it. They're at the end of their hope.
And that's Battleship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already did our W's.
Yeah, W's. Skip it, guys. Like 100%. Like, would not recommend it at all.
None.
So that's Battleship. Yeah. Like, I'm like so worn out by how this film kind of played out. But there does seem to be a whole bunch of people out there that like this film, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And but as always, we ask them to at least give us 5. So here we go with Gimme 5. The first one today is Rich is the name of the person who wrote it. Rich, written January 6, 2018, so like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Right? Based on the Blu-ray format, titled Fun Movie. Rich writes, fun movie even though some of the acting is subpar. It's loud, things blow up, and you can't beat Thunderstruck cranking over the surround sound towards the end of the movie. Movies like this do aggravate me with their inability to keep realism in check, such as the fact that they got a museum ship engine fired up and running with loaded ammunition in all about 15 to 20 minutes. How does he know how long it actually took?
I don't know, but a lot of these people's problem, like a lot of these reviews, they're like, I didn't really think, but, you know, I gave it a good rating.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't good, but I gave it a good rating.
You know, there's a lot of problems with this, but still 5 stars. He goes on to finish, still a fun movie, still a fun movie that I like just for action sequences and the fact that it's a great movie played over surround sound. 5 stars.
I love sound. Like,
right?
Great.
I have surround sound.
Watch a Michael Bay film instead.
I watched this in surround sound.
And it was so 1080, right?
I just
The
had to
Blu-ray?
turn it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I watched the Blu-ray version. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Wasn't anything special.
Yeah. It was just a movie.
I mean, maybe he's happy that somebody finally put AC/DC in surround sound.
Like,
I think that's what it came
yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out the knees! And you're like, yes, I can hear it echo. And you're like, yes!
Who are you?
In the middle of
That was a really good one. I'm proud of you.
It takes me being confident with the fact that I'm yelling in this projection booth when real movies are being played around us.
No one will care.
Yeah. It's just a guy who was unhappy with Maximum Overdrive's lack of surround sound.
Where's the Dolby?
Right? Who made who? So moving on. The next review. Why do you always find 4, by the way?
Oh, because I just am never satisfied. Well, 2 are from Amazon, 2 are from from IMDb.
Well, it's just a good explanation.
Plus,
now.
the last 2 I found were like, yes, I need these.
Okay. So, next one, written by Blue Dragonfly on September 5th, 2014. This is Amazon video format. Writes, lots of fun and action. The first time I saw this movie, I didn't like it. Then,
Me too.
Then, several months later, I watched it again and really liked it. I find it a fun action-adventure movie with a great cast. Lots of fun, humor, and special effects. You simply have to overlook the unlikely beginning of the fun... What? You have to overlook the unlikely beginning of the no-account brother who does really dumb things but ends up making good and becomes the hero. I was really impressed by the wonderful CGI and also the soldier with the amputated limbs who ends up being a hero. This is truly a double amputee playing the role, and he is exceptional. That one's, I mean...
That was like a decent review, but
yeah, on the amputee.
Like, that person was like, I hated it. Then I loved it.
Special effects were fine, by the way.
They actually were pretty good CGI.
Yeah.
Like, compared to the first Transformers, they're better than that. That's pretty decent.
Okay. I don't know. It's one of these things where CGI is very difficult.
CGI is no longer a weird problem for us.
Right.
In our current movies.
It's not like Lost in Space. Yeah. It's not Blarp.
Yeah, exactly.
Next one, written by Duncan Ford on May 2014, titled, If You Fail to Enjoy This Movie, Life Sucks for You.
It's a good one.
In reality, a technological advanced species would wipe us out within 5 minutes. Result? No movie. Therefore, this movie depends upon a sequence of improbable happenstances to allow it to progress. We have a suitably driven central character and a capable sidecast who take up the spirit of the piece, which is essentially heroism in the face of extreme odds. If you cannot suspend your disbelief for the duration in order to feel the bravado of humanity... sorry, I had momentum there, but he wrote it weird. If you cannot suspend your disbelief for the duration in order to feel the bravado humanity is genuinely capable of, you do not have the capacity in yourself. Your score for this movie directly correlates to how happy you are as a person.
It's so angry. It's like someone's like, this is a terrible film. And they're like, I love it. So defensive of
You
Battleship.
are not a human being and you deserve to die like the fucking aliens in this film.
You gave it a 3, so you get a 3 in happiness. You gave it a 5, so your happiness is okay. Like, what? Your happiness level is based on how much you like or dislike Battleship 2012.
So the final review today is by Shane Davis, written in 2012, titled, Good Enough. It's really not a 10, but I gave it that for all the 1s and 2s it was getting.
It was a pity vote.
Check your brain at the door and watch things blow up. I liked it enough to comment. I also liked how they used real military and vets for this film. They can't act very well, but you'll find it in your heart to forgive that. Too many shit bombs on this movie. I think if you make a movie about shit, then you can say it. Otherwise, leave it all out of the bad language. Same goes for fuck. They call that porn. Ha. Thanks for reading. Enjoy the movie. If you don't like sci-fi explosions and the Navy, do not watch this movie. Working on my 10th line and hope not to get an error. 5 stars.
Was it a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old?
They
say bad words.
But what was that last thing? Working on my 10th line and hope to not get an error?
Either his 10th line of Coke or the 10th line of this message.
Yeah.
One of those two, that's all.
I like when somebody writes in a review, ha. Like, LOL. Like he's texting someone.
I like, It didn't deserve it, but I felt bad for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give it what it deserves.
Right?
Don't.
So, don't. That's Battleship, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we didn't. And as always, make sure you follow us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Bombs Away Show. Subscribe to our new forum, like we told you about in the beginning of the episode, Bombs Away Overnight Dropbox. And you can write to us if you had a little bit more to say about this episode or we missed something. I think we pretty much covered it pretty well, but
we just didn't cover like the government portion, where there's that obnoxious guy that's always
the guy from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, the guy that's always like the stick in the mud. That's
It's
like,
Janos.
what do you mean?
It's Vigo.
I can't stand that actor.
You're the Scards of Carpathians. Yes, I know.
Makes me so mad.
I know.
hated
That's him. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't cover that, but who cares?
Yeah, I did not. The Secretary of Defense,
You're
Defense, right?
Anyway, yeah. That is it. You can write to us, contact at Bombs Away Show. We have huge news on the horizons. I just can't solidify it right now. I can't announce it. Hopefully I can announce it by next week's show. Next week's show, Prom Night 1980, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you.
I love slashers.
I know, right? That's our favorite thing. And that's to celebrate end of school and class of 2018. So what better way than to celebrate it with the class of 1980?
Yeah.
So that just about does it for us. You have anything to add? Anything to plug?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And let's drop these let's drop
Bomb to eat.
Let's drop some bombs on these mother...
Hey everyone, this is Jarrett with Bombs Away Podcast. I'm here at the Frida Cinema, once again recording for your all's pleasure. Frida Cinema, that sounds pretty familiar. Oh yeah, it's because we bring it up so much. It's where we live, it's where we record. Now, you may know of the Frida Cinema, but you may not know enough about the Frida Cinema. So the Frida Cinema is a program of the Long Beach Cinematique, and it's located in Santa Ana in Southern California. It services neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema, dedicated to educating, connecting, and enriching communities through the art of cinema. It is a pretty amazing experience, but how do they do that? Well, one of the ways they do that is with shadow casting. So shadow casting, if you don't know, is whenever they have a cast below the screen acting out the movie as the film is projected behind them, which is pretty neat. But that's not all. They also get audience participation, so you feel like you're part of the film, that you have that amazing enriching experience. Some of the films that we do shadow casts with are Little Shop of Horrors, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Repo the Genetic Opera, and The Forbidden Zone. When was the last time you heard of The Forbidden Zone? Am I right, ladies? Other things that we do, if you're not into Shadowcast, but you love that audience participation, are special events. We've done Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and it was a lights and sound spectacular, and there were also words along the bottom of the screen that helped you know when to participate in the film. And maybe you just want to watch a film, which is okay, because the Frida Cinema does show films, but maybe you want to watch a film in a different atmosphere. Well, the Frida Cinema has rooftop showings. Some of the films that have shown on our rooftop are the most recent Beauty and the Beast, or Ghostbusters, and Jurassic Park. One of the cool things that happened with Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park is we actually had guests. For instance, Jurassic Park had the guest of the Jeep Wrangler, you know, that nice tan and red Jeep that we see just driving all around that park. It's an amazing photo opportunity, and it's something you get to brag about to your friends and post on that Instagram. If you want more information about the showtimes, location, and everything film and entertainment related to the Frida Cinema, just go to www.thefridacinema.org. You can also follow on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema, and on Instagram and Twitter at thefridacinema. La Frida Cinema for the filmmakers, the film goers, and for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?